It is the number one trending show, the Imminent and Don Deals right about here at the United chapter. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being part. We definitely bring to you the latest from Moises Caicedo and also quite a lot of football players who signed for the club Manchester United, who has not yet signed, who is it just a rumor? What has Eric Ten Hag said about these transfers? All you need to do is easy subscribe. I'm telling you, we have great news coming in from Rabiot, Adrian Rabiot. We've also got the likes of, we've got another football player, still young and talented. It is called Moani. And also there's great news in there. We've got quite a lot of information to give you right here at the United chapter as everything is going on as planned. A lot of football players are definitely in there. We're going to be talking about Victor Osimhen. We're going to be talking about Harry Kane and also not forgetting Mason Mount. The list is big. Mason Greenwood. Loads of football players to talk about today. Anyway, let's get the party started. It is the number one trading, number one on the trending lists. Anyway, it's the Manchester United done deals and imminent. Anyway, let's get the party started. Having said hello, have I? Hello, everyone. Thank you for being part of the United chapter and make your point subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss it on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Manchester United related, right about here at the United chapter with me, your host Abu KALS, as we definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest trade as it comes in. So it will be remembered that a lot has been said and a lot is being done, and right about now, the club Manchester United is looking at reinforcement in different fields. And one of the fields that Manchester United is focusing on in this summer transfer window is the forward section. There's a lot that needs to be done in the forward section, and Manchester United is more than happy to get this sorted. Let's see how all this will definitely roll. Anyway, let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. Whom should we start with? Whom should we start with? Whom should we start with? Anyway, let me see. Let me see. Let's start with Mason Mount. What's going on with Mason Mount? We'll remember that Mason Mount is an English professional football player who plays as a midfielder. He's been playing for a midfielder for the club Chelsea, and also he's been playing for as a midfielder for the club for the English national team. And right about now, he's been linked. He's had heavy links, big links to the club Manchester United. And what I can confirm to you is that despite the heavy links to Manchester United, a number of bids have been rejected by the club Chelsea. Manchester United has tried to make sure they can get a football player, but Chelsea's really playing hard to get. But of recent, we've got great news coming in from Mason Mount, and Mason Mount has put strong words across. Mason Mount has said strong words across, and things are definitely not going on quite well for Chelsea, as Chelsea thought they would have the slightest of possibilities of maintaining the football player, but this is definitely not gonna happen. Anyway, let's get the party rolling. Let's get the party rolling. And we're talking about Mason Mount. So Mason Mount has just done something, and guess what he's done? He's sent a message to the club Chelsea that I'm either going now, or if you leave me, I won't sign anything like a contract. I'll go as a free agent. And he just has 1 year, 1 year on his contract. Definitely, that means Chelsea could be losing out on quite a bit of money. And also, Mason Mount put it across and said that he is not interested in any other club apart from the club Manchester United, and that's quite great news for United fans. So I think Manchester United fans should be happy about that. They should be rejoicing about that, because that's great news for Manchester United fans. Let us know what you definitely think about this, and if you think Mason Mount should be at the club Manchester United, you can always let us know. But Mason Mount, I think the mode of play, how he plays, really, that's why he is regarded as one of the best midfielders. And Eric Ten Hag has always tried over time to make sure that he can get Mason Mount, but he's always failed. He's been at Ajax Amsterdam and tried talking him through so that he can go to Ajax Amsterdam, but he's really failed. And right about now, things are moving in the right direction for him. Things are going on quite well for him. And I think there are very big possibilities that this time round he's going to end up at the club, Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag could be jubilating. As you already know, the first bid was rejected, the second bid was rejected, plus the third bid, 3 bids in a row. All of them were rejected. Chelsea saying they need something like £75 million for him, and that's quite a lot of money. Anyway, looking at the amount of money, it's quite a lot for Mason Mount. But Mason Mount is a very good football player, but also his wages have been low. As I told you before, for those of you who've been following me, his wages have always been low. And Manchester United is saying, look, you're on very slow, very low wages. Come to Manchester United, you get a £100,000 wage. And that's quite good. And I think Manchester United this time round, they're definitely most likely going to be getting the football player anytime from now. So let us know what you definitely think about the Mason Mount transfer, as Mason Mount has clearly told the club Chelsea that he is not interested in staying. But if it all comes to him staying at the club because they do not want to sell him, he's not going to sign any contract. He's going as a free agent. Then Manchester United could have him the next season as a free agent. I don't think that would be a great thing for Manchester United to do, to wait. If Manchester United really needs him, they should pay the money, because if Manchester United waits, there are other clubs that will be interested, and it could be a fresh bid. Tables could turn in the January transfer window. Tables could definitely turn. We could be seeing a lot of things a lot of things changing in the general transfer window, because a number of clubs will be looking at a reinforcement and in different fields, and also the preferences of Mason Mount could have changed by then. The preferences of Mason Mount now might not be the same preferences in January, in the general transfer window. Actually, no, general transfer window, in the summer transfer window, because now there's quite a lot of time there. And so the fact that right about now he is in a position of signing for the club Manchester United, he wants the move and himself is pushing for a move, that definitely shows you that it's going to be great. It's going to be a wonderful thing for the club Manchester United, and Manchester United should go on and seal the deal. However, Chelsea looked at it, and they thought they were losing out, and Chelsea came out and said they're going to have closed door meetings with the management of Manchester United. And once they've got closed door meetings with the management of Manchester United, what will come around will be the final thing. Although they rejected the bids, they want personal meetings, closed door meetings, so that the deal can definitely be sealed, deal done, sealed, and confirmed. Anyway, let's wait and see where the Mason Mount transfer will later go and where it will direct us once it is a deal that is done, sealed, and confirmed. I'll be the first person to bring to you the latest information from that sector. Anyway, I think that's a brilliant thing. That's a good thing for the club. And right about now, let's dig deep into yet another football player. Loads of football players to talk about right about now. Let's talk about Victor Osimhen. Anyway, talking about Victor Osimhen, we remember that Victor Osimhen is a Nigerian professional football player who plays as a forward for the club Napoli and also the Nigerian national team. He's been selected as one of the best African football players in all over Europe. He is regarded as the best forward in Europe. He scored 30 goals, actually 31 goals across all competitions for Napoli, and that is a brilliant figure. That is definitely a very good figure. And Manchester United is looking for a good forward that can score over 20 goals per season. You definitely can tell that that is the sort of football player he is. You can definitely tell that that is the mode of football player this gentleman is. And Manchester United is looking for a football player like him, and that is where the money needs to go. But there is a little bit of a tight fight between two forwards, and we've also got a Harry Kane, and also there are a number of forwards that Manchester United is looking at with Rasmus Højlund, and quite a big number. But right about now, let's focus on Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, I think, is still young and has got quite a bit of experience, and also the fact that Manchester United is looking at playing Champions League football the coming season. Definitely, that's where the thing is. Definitely, the play is needed. He's well sure about European clubs. He's destroyed European clubs, and there is nothing that is going to stop him from destroying European clubs one more time. Anyway, you can let us know what you think about Victor Osimhen joining the club Manchester United. However, Victor Osimhen is not the only, actually Manchester United is not the only football club that is interested in Victor Osimhen. There are quite a big number of clubs that are interested in Victor Osimhen, with Chelsea putting a hand in this transfer, saying they definitely need the football player. Liverpool showing quite a bit of interest, but the links are still weak. There is nothing positive about it. And Manchester City was ruled out of this transfer, though it showed a bit of interest. But right about now, I can confirm to you that Manchester City has no intentions of Victor Osimhen right about now. They pulled out of this transfer, and we probably think they have better strikers. And it might not necessarily be better, but I think they are sorted. Anyway, let's see. And Victor Osimhen, please go into the comment section. If you want Victor Osimhen, you can let us know. And if you want Victor Osimhen to play for the football club, you can also give this video a thumbs up. Anyway, let's get into yet another football player, and that's none other than Harry Kane. Harry Kane, the goal machine, that's what I call him. He's got a clear record of goals with his entire life. He's scored 30 goals per season twice. Definitely, that's a brilliant list of statistics. Looking at his goals, he's got quite a big number of goals. And now, if you were Manchester United, whom would you take? Would you take Victor Osimhen, or you would go for Harry Kane? I personally, I don't know whom I would go for. Let me know what your preference would be, whether it would be Victor Osimhen or it would be Harry Kane. But you will remember that Manchester United recently came out and told Harry Kane to start on with this transfer. Manchester United, however much they want Harry Kane, he has to stand and say, tell the club Tottenham, he has to tell Spurs that he needs this transfer, because Spurs are trying to delay this transfer. Spurs are trying to keep him over there, and there is nothing Manchester United can do. There's nothing at all that Manchester United can this transfer from Manchester United has to actually, there's nothing Manchester United can do to make this happen, if at all. If at Newcastle, actually not Newcastle, sorry, if at all the club Tottenham Hotspur and Harry Kane are not getting things right, Tottenham has to Tottenham Hotspur has to get into the football player, and possibly things would actually go on quite well right there. And with the if both parties come into a conclusion and they decide, oh, Harry Kane, yeah, you are a legend, but you're definitely leaving. This is time up for you. It is time up for you. Definitely, that would be a great idea. That would be a good thing for you. And Spurs could also get quite a lot of money. But I think Spurs are also looking at a situation where they're not going to get a bit of money, where they're not going to get quite a lot of money for the football player. Spurs are looking at a situation where they're not going to get a lot of money for the player, and not for the player, for other players, because he is something around £100,000. And if, sorry, no 100,000, £100 million. So if Harry Kane is £100 million, which football player will Spurs attract that is worth around that money or as good as Harry Kane? So it's going to be a bit tricky for them. But Manchester United have instructed Harry Kane to make sure that he can tell the management at Spurs that he definitely needs to leave. The Manchester United can jump fully into this transfer. Before that, there is nothing that is going to be done. However, having said that, Manchester United has already had a lot of talks with Harry Kane, and also we'll remember that Harry Kane is a big name, but he definitely needs some trophies under it. Anyway, let's wait and see where all this definitely takes us. Let's talk about yet another young talent, and we're talking about the one and only Randall Colomwani, who is a very good football player, a very good forward, and the club Manchester United has officially today, Manchester United has officially run into this transfer. It has Manchester United has sent for information about Randall Kolo. Yeah, Rando Kolo Moani. So Manchester United has sent for information to make sure they can open up on this transfer. They can pursue this transfer. And that's great news for the club Manchester United, isn't it? Because he's a young football player, very good forward. Clubs are after him, and he's been scoring quite a big number of goals. So Manchester United are trying to look into this situation and see how they can definitely get it sorted. But Rando Kolo Muani is a very good one, and he is one to have at Manchester United. Still young, still go time in favor of him, and definitely that can be with Manchester United. Let's get into yet another football player, and we're talking about Kylian Mbappe. We'll remember that Kylian Mbappe is a French professional football player who also plays for Paris Saint-Germain. And recently, what came in the news again, just like Harry Kane, something like that, there was something there was something that was a bit, that was quite a bit, there was something that was quite a bit challenging for him as a football player. Anyway, he's not been at good terms with Paris Saint-Germain, and for some reason he's been looking at a move away from the club Paris Saint-Germain. And then he comes up and tells Paris Saint-Germain, tells them, I'm not signing any contract. No, that definitely means that he's into a move away from the club. Just like who's this Mason Mount, just like Mason Mount did, just like Mason Mount did with Chelsea. Already, Kylian Mbappe had already done it. He did it before, and he said, Paris Saint-Germain, I don't want to play for after the current season. I want as a free agent. Now it's up to Paris Saint-Germain to sell or no. But you will remember that Manchester United is keenly waiting for the day Paris Saint-Germain says, oh, you can go, you can leave the club. It's okay. We're going to sell you. But once that is done, that definitely means there's going to be quite a big challenge. There's going to be two football clubs that will be into a real bidding war. It's going to be a massive bidding war between two clubs, and that's Real Madrid that badly need Kylian Mbappe and Manchester United, who are closely monitoring every step Real Madrid does and also every step Paris Saint-Germain does. So he is going to be a very good one for the club. It's going to be a good one for Manchester United. In case Manchester United signs him, then that will be a great deal. Let's talk about yet another young superstar, and that's none other than Rasmus Højlund. You'll be remember that Rasmus Højlund is one of the best football forwards in his how should I call it? In his generation. He is a very good one. He's a very wonderful one. And Atlanta has slapped a £75 million for him, and that's putting a 75 million pound. That's what has to be paid for him. That's quite a lot of money because he's still young. He's still a bit young, but also that's to their advantage. He's still young, but he's not proved. I know when you look at Manchester United, some football players have come to Manchester United at stupid wages, and they have definitely not performed. So I think Manchester United should put into consideration that such things definitely might be happening. And paying around 70 to 75 million pound for the football player for the Atlanta superstar Rasmus Højlund, I think that would be quite a lot of money. It should be negotiable, and once it's negotiable, then Manchester United can definitely go for that. But him as a football player, he's okay. He's definitely a very fine football player, and I think Erik ten Hag would love to play him. There is no reason whatsoever as to why Manchester United would not get him if the price is definitely right. Rasmus Højlund, let's wait for his move to the club Manchester United, as it is said that there is a lot, there is big possibility, big chance that Rasmus Højlund is going to end up at the club Manchester United, as he is interested in the move himself. He's definitely into moving to the club Manchester United. Let's wait and see, as Manchester United is pursuing this deal. It is not yet a deal that is done just as yet. let's talk about yet another football player. We've got Adrien Rabiot. Adrien Rabiot, it will be remembered that Adrien Rabiot is one of those football players that Manchester United has always wanted over time. In the last summer transfer window, Manchester United wanted Adrien Rabiot, and in the January transfer window, Manchester United wanted Adrien Rabiot. 360 right about now. We still are into the Adrien Rabiot transfer, but will be remember that the things that have led Manchester United not to sign Adrien Rabiot, one of the biggest things is the wages, and yet the other one has been the transfer fee. Adrien Rabiot demands quite a lot of wages, big wages. It's not him, it's his mom. His mom, who doubles as his agent, definitely always asks for stupid wages for the football player. That's quite insane. However, having said that, she has now settled to talks with the club Manchester United. Anyway, I think Manchester United should be in a position of signing him and dealing with the stupid wages. And one of the reasons as to why I'm saying so is because Adrien Rabiot, right about now, he is a free agent. And the fact that he is a free agent, that shows you that Manchester United is not going to be paying a stupid amount of money for Adrien Rabiot. However, the question still is he a long-term solution or short-term solution? Anyway, Adrien Rabiot, undoubtedly, he is a very good football player. He is a very good one, and coming to Manchester United would add something to the club Manchester United. You can let me know in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe. Let's get into yet another football player. We've got Andre Onana, with the fact that David De Gea's future at Manchester United is uncertain. Manchester United is looking at a few goalkeepers, and one of them is Andre Onana. Actually, not one of them. The one topping the list is Andre Onana. And Andre Onana is a Cameroon professional goalkeeper and also Inter Milan goalkeeper. And right about now, he is open to a move away from Inter Milan. And that's quite good. Manchester United could be heading to signing the football player. Let's wait and see where all this takes us. But Manchester United is into getting another goalkeeper, whether David De Gea stays or leaves. The biggest percentage will be when if he's into leaving Manchester United. He's not yet decided where his future is going to be just as yet. Anyway, we could be seeing Manchester United going for the football player, as Manchester United has already had talks with Andre Onana. Not forgetting that there is Emiliano Martinez, who is an Argentine football goalkeeper, and also he's been playing for Aston Villa, something like that. He's been playing for Aston Villa. And he's been a very good goalkeeper, and he's linked to Manchester United. But right about now, there is nothing concluded with that transfer just as yet. And again, looking at Andre Onana, talking about Andre Onana, for him, it's almost a deal that is done, sealed, and confirmed. And let's wait and see how this definitely goes. But as I told you, the biggest possibility of him coming will be when David De Gea is to leave Manchester United. But even though David De Gea won't, even if David De Gea won't leave Manchester United, there is still a big possibility that he will come to Manchester United. But the question still is, will you sit him down? Because he's a first-class goalkeeper. You know, he's a first-class goalkeeper. So definitely you cannot sit him down. So a lot of factors have to be considered before him joining the club Manchester United. And also talking about yet another football player, we've talked about almost everyone, haven't we? Yeah, we've talked about almost everyone apart from Mason Mount. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Mason Mount. You'll remember that Mason Mount is one of those football players that Manchester United really possibly needs. Go into the comment section and tell me if it's not true. But what I know, what I think, possibly Manchester United needs Mason Mount, Mason Greenwood. You'll remember that Mason Greenwood has been on charges, and for some time, 17 months on charges, and right about now, he's a free man. He's innocent. He was proved innocent by the courts, and he's been looking into coming back and playing football. And recently, he was pictured in personal training. Manchester United has been looking at different options of improving him, possibly sending him on a loan deal, or keeping him and monitoring him. But right about now, the loan deal is definitely not working out. Manchester United is considering keeping him, as Manchester United is looking at different ways in which they can get this football player back in a better position, and he can start playing one more time. However, it's not about him. It's not about Mason Mount, Mason Greenwood as a football player. It goes into the management, the club, and also the fans. So do you think the fans want Mason Greenwood with those charges that he had? Do you think the fans will be happy? You, as a Manchester United fan, are you happy about Mason Greenwood returning to football? Anyway, you can drop your comment section. You can drop your comment in the comment section as long as it is respectful. Thank you. Yes, let's talk more about Mason Greenwood. So I think Mason Greenwood is definitely one of those football players that is going to be a big thing in the near future. He's only 21 years, despite everything that happened. He's 21 years, and when he was still at Manchester United 17 months ago, he was a very good football player. Very wonderful football player. Undoubtedly, every club wanted him. And right about now, that's why clubs are seeing a big opportunity that Manchester United might not sign him. Very many clubs are sending in their requests of signing him on permanent deal. But if the worst comes to the worst, then Manchester United will have to loan him. Manchester United came out and said there is no option of selling Mason Greenwood. Let us know what you definitely think in the comment section, as we definitely talk sports right about here. And Manchester United will be remembered that a few football players have been linked to an exit of the club. And one of the football players that has been linked to an exit of the club with a release clause in there is Jadon Sancho. I don't know what's happening. So Jadon Sancho has been he's been quite a very good football player. I don't know, when he was at Borussia Dortmund, was a very good football player. Class is what identified him as a good football player. That's why defined him. And the English football player has always been playing quite well over time. And right about now, he's being linked to an exit. And the club Manchester United saying they need £45 million for him. That's definitely a bit tricky, because Manchester United is no longer, it's no long since Manchester United got him. And Manchester United got him at £75 million. And right about now, they're selling him at £45 million. That's crazy, isn't it? And I don't know. Let me know whether you would